Listen to that. It's magic. Joe, this is magic. This fog. Ooh, it is foggy this morning. Alright, let's go. If you watched my previous woodland video, you would have seen me scout an area of native woodland which I spoke about, lending itself very well to certain foggy, moody conditions. But I said that this was a 1 in a million chance due to the elevation of the area. Well, I got that 1 in a million chance and I was very, very excited. Luckily the previous prediction that I made on this area was incorrect. I had said that I didn't think any fog would penetrate this area due to its elevation, but this morning I'm being treated. And when I saw the forecast last night, okay, I was like, there's only one place I'm going, and if there's no fog there, so be it. I tried. It's only 10 minutes from my house, so luckily it arrived. And it arrived in abundance. Now it's dissipating, not gonna lie. It's moving away a bit too quickly than I'd like, but I'm back at my very first scene that I shot in my previous video. You remember this area from the previous video? It's a section of old woodland that I found and I was very excited about. And when I photographed these scenes before, the conditions weren't ideal. It was really more of a scouting mission. And that paid off, because this morning when I had the conditions, I knew exactly where I had to go, exactly the area, I knew exactly the scenes I wanted to shoot, I knew exactly how I wanted to shoot them, so there's no time wasted. And that's the benefit of doing a scouting or a recce, let's call it. So I'm at my first scene with these two lovely shaped trees in the foreground framing this oak down by the river. I'm shooting horizontally. Now it's quite dark, so I'm using 2-second shutter. I'm at f11 ISO 200, and it's a complicated scene because the two trees do tend to draw your eye either side of the image, but it's the framing I like. It's just the way they frame that oak right in the centre, and thankfully we have that bit of mist now, a bit of fog, to help declutter that background. I'm going to go up to the old oak now, the main one that I love, and going to try and shoot that as well. Trying to contain my excitement. This is just, I mean, I think because I had built up so much that, and I had accepted that I wasn't going to get conditions in this area. I just didn't think that the fog would drift in. I was hoping for like mist or low cloud, and thankfully it did. And this scene behind me is just, these are the types of trees that woodland photographers just dream of photographing. Branches arching out, large, thick trunk, mossy greens. It's just magic. And I think the biggest thing that we struggle with while shooting in the woodland is the chaos. It's the frantic nature of everything, and it's also creating an image that looks three-dimensional. So in photography, when you don't have some form of separation in your image, it looks like a very flat 2D shot. whereas when you have that separation, it creates a very immersive image. We almost do it unknowns to ourselves, and the viewer doesn't actually realise why they find this image so pleasing unless they're clued into photography. But let's say the regular viewer, they don't understand separation and all this stuff, but they do realise that, wow, this image has drawn me in. And that's because it has a separation, and that's what fog and mist does in the woodland. Now, I don't like relying on it the whole time. There are other ways to get separation in the woodland by using subjects, foreground interest, colour, contrast. But with a shot like this, with this tree, this is just what I had in my head, and now it's after coming to fruition. And the fog is dissipating quite quickly, but you know what, I don't mind at all. I thought that the previous scene was going to be my favourite shot from this morning, so I really like that composition, but I think this is going to be a winner. It's still quite dark, so I'm still shooting around the second exposure. I'm at f11 ISO 100, so it's just magic. Can't wait to show you this image. It's hard to put into words how special it is for a photographer when they've had a vision of a shot in their head, they've practiced the composition, they've taken the time to wait for the conditions, and when the time does come, they've managed to grab the shot exactly as they planned in their head. And it's something that's very, very special. Doesn't happen too often, but for me, this tree is definitely one of my favourites. And just like that, the fog is gone. It's literally lifted in the space of 10 minutes. It's a bit of a shame, because I did want to explore a section of woodland behind me here with just some fantastic looking trees. And I tried to grab a shot at them at the very start of the morning, so perhaps you've seen that already. It was quite dark though, so I don't know how that's going to turn out, but it should be okay. But yeah, I mean, the takeaway from this video is the benefit of scouting a location beforehand. As I said, the fact that I had visited this before, I mean, let's take for example if I hadn't came to this location, yeah, perhaps I would have gone the right way and found that tree, but I could have easily taken this path which leads to the right and down towards the river, and I would have totally missed the section of trees where I captured those two images. So I scouted the location in not so ideal conditions. I still took my photographs though, because that gave me a feel for the composition. I was able to go into Lightroom, practice cropping, practice different techniques, and then I had a fair idea of what way I should position the tree in the shot when I came back in the ideal conditions. So I think that's an important lesson to take away from this video. I hope you've enjoyed the images. I cannot wait to get home to process them in a couple of days. I've kind of started to leave my images sit for a while. I find, especially now when the mornings are getting earlier, I mean it's only 7:30 now. When the mornings are getting earlier, you're getting more tired, and when you go home and try and process, sometimes it doesn't work out. So I'm going to leave them sit for a few days, come back to them, and I really hope that they turn out well. I think they will. I think they will. So yeah, look, as always, thanks very much for watching. Stay safe. All the best.